Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. Today we're starting new chapter, chapter 30, Gopis Search for Krishna. Text number 1 onwards. Shri Shukuvacha Antarhite Bhagavati Sahase Vrajangana Atapyanstama Chakshana Karanya Iva Yuthapam. Shukdev Goswami said, when Lord Krishna disappeared so suddenly, the gopis felt great sorrow at losing sight of him, like a group of female elephants who have lost their mate. So they were dancing, and in middle of all this, Krishna just disappeared. Gatyanuraga smit vibram ekshiter manoramala pavihar vibrame akshipta chitta pramadharama patesa tasta vicheshta jagrahus tad atmikan. As the cowherd women remembered Lord Krishna, their hearts were overwhelmed by his movements and loving smiles, his playful glances and enchanting talks, and by the many other pastimes he would enjoy with them. Thus absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, the Lord of Rama, the gopis began acting out his various transcendental pastimes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the following charming exchange between Krishna and the gopis. Krishna said to a gopi, "My dear land lily, are you going to offer your honey to this very thirsty honeybee or not?" The gopi replied, "My dear bee, the husband of the lilies is the sun, not the bee. So why you're claiming that my honey belongs to you? But my dear lily, the very nature of a lily is that you don't give your honey to a husband, the sun, but rather to a paramar, the bee." The gopi, defeated by the words of Krishna, laughed and gave him her lips as honey to drink. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also describes the following conversation. Krishna said to a gopi, "I can understand that as you approach this nipa tree standing here, you were bitten by an audacious snake. Its venom has already reached your chest, but since you're a respectable maiden, you haven't asked me to cure you. Still, I have come, being merciful by nature. Now, while I massage your body with my hands, I'll chant a mantra to counteract the serpent's poison." The gopi said, "But my dear snake charmer, no snake has bitten me. Go massage the body of some other girl who has actually suffered a snake bite." So, different amorous pastimes of Krishna going on with the gopis. Gopis are trying to please Krishna. Krishna is trying to please the gopis. Gatismita prekshanam bhashanadishu priya priyasya pratiruda murtaya asavaham tviti balastadatmika nyavedishu Krishna vihara vibramaha. Because the beloved gopis were absorbed in thoughts of the beloved Krishna, their bodies imitated his way of moving and smiling, his way of beholding them, his speech, and his other distinctive features. Deeply immersed in thinking of him and maddened by remembering his pastimes, they declared to one another, "I am Krishna." So what the gopis were doing, they were enacting different pastimes of Krishna. They started because only person they could think of was Krishna, nobody else. His sweet pastimes, starting from the time he killed Putana all the way to this time when he was with gopis. So they were remembering, and in their maddened love of remembering Krishna, they were just performing his pastimes and the dramas. There was like spontaneous dramas were coming out. Spontaneously, the gopis began moving like Krishna. They smiled as he would smile, glanced boldly as he would, and spoke as he would. The gopis were completely absorbed in the existence of Krishna and mad with love at their sudden separation from him. And thus their dedication to him attained absolute perfection. गायन्ते उच्चैर्मुमेव संहता विचिक्युर उन्मत्त क्वद वनादवनम पप्रच्छुर्काशवदन्तरं बहिर् भूतेषु संतं पुरुषं वनस्पतिं. Just a second, I'll be sorry about that. So the gopis, singing loudly of Krishna, they searched for him throughout the Vrindavan forest like a band of mad women. They even asked the trees about him, who as a super soul is present inside and outside of all created things, just like the sky. Lost in the madness of love for Krishna, the gopis inquired about him from even the trees in Vrindavan. Of course, there is no actual separation from Lord Krishna since he is the all-pervading super soul. But the gopis, they were not just satisfied with super soul being in the heart. They wanted Krishna, directly Krishna. So they were searching for him like mad women, because they could only think of him. This is real love. And like Mahaprabhu, when he sang in the Shikshashtakam that in separation from Krishna, every moment feels like a yuga. Some acharyas said yuga means 12 years, and yuga could mean the real yuga. So this is how much they was in the separation. They were suffering in the separation. Drishto vah kachid dashvatha lakshanya grodha no manah nanda sunur gato kritva prema hasa avalokana. The gopi said, "Oh Ashwatriya Palakshunya Grodha, have you seen Krishna? That son of Nand Maharaj has gone away after stealing our minds with his loving smiles and glances. Kachit kurbaka shoka nagapunaga champaka ramanujo maninina ito darpa harasmitaha." Kurbak Priya Ashok, Nag, Punag, and Champak has Balram's younger brother, whose smile removes the audacity of all proud women, passed this way. As soon as the gopis saw that a particular tree would not answer them, they impatiently left it and rushed off to another to make further inquiries. So in separation, when the beloved is separated and gone, he just took off. So these gopis, they were asking the trees. Same way, if we remember when Sita was kidnapped by Ravan, and Ram and Lakshman, they were looking for Mother Sita. Of course, Lakshman was not acting this way, but Ram, he was madly asking even the trees, animals, forest animals, have you seen my Sita? Have you seen my Sita? Which way did she go? Have you seen her? Is she okay? So this is the symptom of extreme love. And then in separation, even the Lord feels this. It's not that the Lord is like some emotionless person with the long white beard and very old person. No. All the feelings are there. And that's what comes down to the material. That's why we have the feelings. And that's why when people say, oh, in the beginning there was only sound, and from sound everything came. How can from sound we can have feelings, emotions? There's no way. Everything is there in the spiritual world, and the material world is a perverted reflection of that. That's all. Kachit tulasi kalyani govinda charana priya sahat vali kular bibhrat drishtaste ati priyo achyutaha. O most kind Tulasi, to whom the feet of Govinda are so dear, have you seen that infallible one walk by, wearing you and encircled by swarms of bees? The Acharyas explained here that the word charan is a term of respect, as in the expression evam vadati acharya charana. The bees humming around the garland worn by Shri Govinda were attracted by the fragrance of the Tulsi manjaris offered to him. The gopis felt that the trees had not replied because they were male. But the Tulsi, being female, would sympathize with their plight. So in the madness, they can think of anything, and all they want is Krishna. They're asking even Tulsi Maharaj. Maltyar darshiva kvachin mallike jati yuthike pritim mo janyan yata karasparshena madhava. O Malati, O Malik, O Jati, O Yuthika, has Madhav gone by here, giving you pleasure with the touch of his hand? When even Tulsi herself did not answer the gopis, they approached the fragrant jasmine flowers. The gopis, seeing the jasmine vines, humbly bowing down, assumed that these plants must have seen Lord Krishna and was therefore showing humility in their ecstasy. Chut priyalapan sasan nako vidara jambar vark bilval bakulamr kadam nipaha ye anya parartha bhavaka yamno pakula shansantu krishna padavim rahitatmanamna. O Chuta, O Priyalupanas Asan and Kovida, O Jambu, O Ark, O Bilwal, Bakul and Amra, O Kadam and Nipa, and all you other plants and trees living by the banks of the Yamuna who have dedicated your very existence to the welfare of others. We gopis have lost our minds, so please tell us where Krishna has gone. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Chuta is a mango creeper, whereas the Amra is a mango tree. He goes on to explain that the Nipa, though not a very prominent tree, bears large flowers, and that the gopis' desperation to find Krishna is clearly shown by the fact that they approach the insignificant Arka plant. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti gives the following information about Vrindavan's trees. The Nipa is a dust kadam, and it has large flowers. The Kadamba proper has smaller flowers and a very pleasant fragrance. The Kovidar is a particular kind of Kanchanar, mountain ebony tree. Even though the Arka plant is very insignificant, it always grows near Lord Gopeshwara, the Shiva deity in Vrindavan forest, because it is dear to him. So I don't know which one is Arka plant, but gopis in their madness, they're asking everybody, every tree, every plant, every creeper, have you seen Krishna? Because that's all they could see, right, on their way. Kim te kritam kshiti tapo bhatta keshvangri sparshota savot pulla kitanga nara hibabhasi apyangri sambhav urukrama vikramadva aho varaha vapusha parirambhanena. O Mother Earth, what austerity did you perform to attain the touch of Lord Keshav's lotus feet, which has brought you such great joy that your bodily hairs are standing on end? You appear very beautiful in this condition. Was it during the Lord's current appearance that you acquired this ecstatic symptom, or was it perhaps much earlier when he stepped upon you in his form of the dwarf Vamandev? Or even earlier when he embraced you in his form of the boar Varahadev? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains the thoughts of the gopis as follows. Perhaps the trees and plants mentioned in the previous verses did not hear our questions because they were in trance, meditating on Lord Vishnu. Or perhaps since they will not tell us where Krishna has gone, they are hard-hearted, even though they live in a holy place. Anyway, what's the use of unnecessarily criticizing the residents of a holy place? We cannot tell if they really know where Krishna has gone. So let us find someone who definitely knows where he is. Thus the gopis concluded that since Lord Krishna had to be somewhere on the earth herself must know his whereabouts. So they are asking, Mother Earth, where did he go? Where did Krishna go? Then the gopis thought, since Krishna always walks on the earth, she is never separated from him, and thus cannot understand how much his parents, girlfriends, and servants suffer in his absence. Let us ask her what austerities she has performed to gain the great fortune of being constantly touched by the feet of Lord Keshav. Just impossible to attain that kind of love for Krishna, what gopis had. Apirna patnya upagataha priya ye gatres tanvandrisham sakhi sunir vritim achyutova kantanga sanga puchakum maranjitaya kundasraja kulpateri vati gandha. O friends, wife of the deer, has Lord Achyuta has been here with his beloved, bringing great joy to your eyes. Indeed, blowing this way is the fragrance of his garland of kunda flowers, which was smeared with the kumkum from the breast of his girlfriend when he embraced her. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur provides the following charming commentary on this verse. The gopis spoke to a doe, wife of the deer. O friend, wife of the deer, from the bliss in your clear eyes, we can tell that Shri Krishna has expanded your joy with the beauty of his limbs, his face, and so forth. You are eager to realize the ecstasy of seeing Krishna, and thus your eyes are following him. In fact, he is never lost to you. Then the gopis, seeing the doe continue to walk in a natural way, exclaimed, Oh, are you telling us that you have seen Krishna? Look, as this deer walks, she constantly turns her head back to us as if to say, I'll show him to you. Just follow me and I'll show you Krishna. In this merciless Vrindavan, she is the only merciful person. As the gopis follow the doe, they happen to lose sight of her and they cry out, Oh, why can't we see the deer who's showing us the way to Krishna? One gopi suggests that Krishna must be somewhere in the vicinity and that the deer, being afraid of him, must have hidden herself to avoid the possible mistake of revealing his presence. Conjecturing in this way, the gopis detect a fragrance that has by chance blown that way, and they repeatedly declare with great joy, Yes, yes, this is it. By Krishna's physical contact with his girlfriend, his jasmine garland was smeared with the kumkum powder on her breast, and the fragrance of all these things are reaching us. Thus the gopis smelled the aroma of two lovers' bodies of Krishna's jasmine garland and the cosmic powder or cosmetic powder on the breast of a lover. So here indirectly, because Shukdev Goswami did not take the name of Srimati Radha or any gopi, but especially Srimati Radharani directly. So here he is indirectly hinting that Krishna is with Srimati Radharani. Bahum priyans upadhaya grihit padmo Ramanujas tulsi kali kuler madandha anviya man ih bastarvah pranamam Kim vabhinandati charan pranayavaloka. O trees, we see that you are bowing down. When the younger brother of Ram walked by here, followed by intoxicated bees swarming around the Tulsi Manjaris, decorating his garland, did he acknowledge your obeisances with his affectionate glances? He must have been resting his arm on the shoulder of his beloved and carrying a lotus flower in his free hand. The gopis saw that the trees bent over with abundant fruits and flowers were offering obeisances to Lord Krishna. The gopis supposed Krishna must have recently passed that way, since the trees were still bowing down. Because Shri Krishna had left the gopis to go with his favorite consort, they were jealous and thus imagined that he had become fatigued from his loving affairs and was resting his left arm on the soft shoulder of his beloved. The gopis further imagined that Krishna must have been carrying a blue lotus in his right hand to drive away the bees eagerly trying to attack his beloved's face after smelling its aroma. The scene was so beautiful. The gopis imagined that the maddened bees had left the Tulsi garden to follow the two lovers. And this is all happening in the middle of the night. And this is what they're imagining, Krishna and Radharani being together. Prachatema lata bahum apyashlishta vanaspate nunam tat karajasprishta bibhrati ut pulakanyaho. Let us ask these creepers about Krishna. Even though they are embracing the arms of their husband, the Stree, they certainly must have been touched by Krishna's fingernails, since out of joy they're manifesting eruptions on their skin. So eruptions on the skin of the creepers is what? Those hairs on the creeper's body. But now they're just imagining, Krishna must have touched them, so they're just in ecstasy. The gopis reasoned that the creepers would not show signs of rapture merely by physical contact with their husband, the tree. Thus the gopis concluded that although the creepers were embracing the strong limbs of their husband, they must have been touched by Lord Krishna as he moved through the forest. Iti unmantavyo gopya krishnana veshna kataraha nila bhagvatastasta hi anu chakrus tadatmika. Having spoken these words, the gopis, distraught from searching for Krishna, began to act out his various pastimes, fully absorbed in thoughts of him. Kasyachit putanayantaya Krishnayanti pivastanam dokitva rudatiyanya padahan shakatayatim. One gopi imitated Putna, while other acted like infant Krishna and pretended to suck her breast. Another gopi, crying in imitation of an infant Krishna, kicked a gopi who was taking the role of the cart demon, Shaktasura. So they were just, now they were tired of looking for Krishna, searching for Krishna. So they started playing out all the pastimes of Krishna. Datyaipa jaharanyam eko krishnarabha bhavanam ringya masa kapyangri karshanti ghoshne swanah. One gopi took the role of Trinavarta and carried away another who was acting like infant Krishna, while yet another gopi crawled about, her ankle bells tinkling as she pulled her feet. The gopis started imitating all of Shri Krishna's pastimes, beginning from his earliest activities as a baby. Krishna Rama yate dvetu gopayantyascha kashana vatsayanti hanti chanya tatraka tu bakayatim. Two gopis acted like Ram and Krishna in the midst of several others who took the role of cowherd boys. One gopi enacted Krishna's killing of the demon Vatsasura, represented by another gopi, and a pair of gopis acted out the killing of Bakasura. Ahuya Durga Yadvat Krishnastam Anuvartatim Venum Konantim Kridantim Anya Shansanti Sadviti. When one gopi perfectly imitated how Lord Krishna would call the cows who had wandered far away, how he would play his flute and how he would engage in various sports. The other congratulated her with exclamations of, well done, sadhu, sadhu. कस्यांचित् स्वभुजं न्यस्य चलन्त्याः पाराननो कृष्णो अहं पश्यत् गतिं ललिताम् इति तन्मनः. Another gopi, her mind fixed on Krishna, walked about with her arm resting on the shoulder of a friend and declared, I am Krishna, just see how gracefully I. So wonderful dramas of Krishna's pastimes are going on, being enacted by the gopis. So I guess we'll stop here and take it up tomorrow. See anybody has any further questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this Sunday is going to be a Navami here, the Navami day. So can we have a Ram Katha on that day?
I would love to, but the thing is, I don't want to miss out on these pastimes.
Yeah. We'll just like maybe 30 minutes we'll spend on that.
So Saturday night for me.
It's an auspicious day, so.
I know, I want to. Okay, so Saturday night, Sunday morning for you all, we'll have Ram Katha. Okay, that's good. So, okay, so we'll stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare